Namaste children. Before going to what is standard unit of measurement, we'll see the three systems of measurement. What are three systems of measurement? I have given a table on the board. The first column represents physical quantity, the basic fundamental quantities, what are known fixed quantities. Next, the three systems of measurement, that is CGS system, MKS system and FPS system. What are the basic fundamental quantities? Length, mass and time. Length is measured in centimeter in CGS system, in MKS in meter and in FPS system foot. Measured in grams in CGS system, in MKS system kg, kilogram and FPS system poundal. Same way, but the time will be measured in all the three systems second only. Now, these are length, mass and time are called as the fundamental basic physical quantities. Already we have seen what is motion and what is rest, what is measurement. Today we will be seeing that at a glance on the board, then we will be switching on to what is measurement. Next, measurement tells about a property or a quantity of something, whether the object is heavy or it is long or it is hot or it is cold. It is one property of things, that is, which can be measurable. Those properties which can be measurable, those quantities are called as physical quantities. These measurements are of two kinds, independent measurements and dependent measurements, which can be measured using by some devices. Some measurements can be used by devices, they can be measured, such as rulers, stopwatches, thermometer, barometer, weighing machines, scales, balance, etc. Those which can be measured by instruments are called independent or fundamental physical quantities or measures. Some are measured basing on this independent measurements. Those are called as dependent measurements, such as area, volume. These will be derived some mathematical formulae and we can measure them. So these measurements, as we have discussed on Tuesday's class, these measurements have two parts. One is number, which is called as magnitude, and another one is known measurement, that is standard measurement, which is called as unit. Next, coming to a physical quantity, already we discussed. A physical quantity is that quantity which can be measurable. The quantities which can be measurable are called as physical quantities. For example, length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, light intensity, volume and many others, area, density. These are all called as physical quantities because we can measure them. So a physical quantity usually is a non-living thing only. So natural non-living objects which possesses two parts in them, that is, one is number, which is known as magnitude, the other one is standard known quantity, that is called as unit. So in this above, length, mass, time are called as fundamental or basic physical quantities. And for example, if you want to measure the length of a student, that is 104 centimeters for example, then 104 is the numerical value, that is called as magnitude, and centimeter is unit. So that is called as standard known quantity. quantity. So 104 centimeters. Together it describes the length of the boy or the student. So it is called as measurement. Next is, in our daily life, how we will be measuring. See, usually small measures we will be using a scale, but when it is long, then we will be measuring a tape. Then next, see, using a tape. Then time watch. This is galvanometer, ammeters such as current, voltage to measure. These are to measure. Measuring jar for volume. These are all battery to measure the current. Then what is meant by standard unit? Units of measurement which are having exact physical value are called as standard units. For example, this table is 1 meter. That means the length of the table is 1 meter. That 1 meter is called as standard. Meter is the unit here which is standard. For all lengths we will be using meter only. That is why it is called as standard unit. The units are known as, known quantities are known as standard units. Now already we discussed there are 3 sets of systems for measuring. One is CGS, another one MKS, then FPS. Now whole world is accepting MKS system, so that is also known as standard international system. Internationally for the trading it is accepted. So in that, length, mass, volume, for example, these are the standard units they will have. So length, for example, what we have taken? Meter. Mass we will be taking kilogram. As the same way volume will take liter. Now coming to, this is the table which describes the standard units, standard international units. For example, mass kilogram, length is meter, and mass is symbolically with M we will be representing. Length is L, time is T. In all the systems it is second only. Current is ampere, temperature is Kelvin, and these are the symbols for the, with one letter we will be representing. Amount of a substance is N, which is known as mole, and symbol is of unit is MOL. And luminous intensity, that is brightness of light, is called as luminous intensity, that is called as candela. These are the standard units. Now coming to these standard measurement, in good olden days when these devices are not there, the people used to measure these lengths with their body parts only. So this is 1 footstep, and this is the hand span. This is hand span. Then this is cubit. So the length of the fingertip to elbow is cubit. Hand span, thumb to the little fingertips. Middle distance length is hand span. Then foot is toe, thumb, toe to sole. Now what we are using to measure some short lengths? Scale, long lengths, tape, shortest lengths either screw gauge, this is called as screw gauge, this is called as vernier calipers. So these are the devices we are using now after the development of technology. Now this is foot. Now this is the foot, length of the foot. Now this is, we will be using foot, we can measure the length of the floor of a room. Next, this is hand span. This man's hand span is how many centimeters? 8 centimeters, because it is starting from 1. So 0 to 1 is 1 centimeter, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, like that. If you consider 8 centimeters is the hand span length. Now coming to, see, this is called as arm length. arm length, shoulder tip to wrist. This is arm length. Then if suppose this measure only till from this chin to your arm finger length, if you have taken, that is called as yard. Now this is scale. How to measure with the scale? Now this is measuring tape, we will be seeing in the videos. Then the metric units, that is MKS units of length. This is in mathematics, it is the table will be given and you go through this table. Now this is all about your measurement, and because these lengths are changing from person to person, these will be called as approximate lengths. Now these are accurate, correct, approximate incorrect, because they are changing from person to person. That we will be seeing in these videos. Observe the videos and write the observations. This is the assignment for you for today.
section, we learn about the measurement and motion. Introduction. Could you think of a time when there were no cars or aeroplanes? People of those times had to travel from one place to another on foot. They also did not have a reliable method to measure distances. Slowly all this changed. Now we learn how it happened. Need to measure distance. We need to measure distance for several reasons. Let us learn about it. Depending on how far your school is from your home, you may be traveling there on foot or using a bicycle, car or bus. In this case, knowing the distance between your home and school helps you in choosing an appropriate mode of transport. Measurement of length is equally important. A tailor would require exact measurements to stitch clothes that would fit you properly. Till a few years ago, different countries had their own units of measurement. This was very confusing. In the year 1960, the General Conference of Weighs and Measures recommended that a common system should be used all over the world. This system was called the SI system. The SI is the abbreviation of Système International des Unités in French. In this system, the standard units of length, mass and time are meter, the standard unit of length, kilogram, the standard unit of mass, second, the standard unit of time. The SI system is used uniformly all over the world for all scientific work. However, in everyday measurements, other systems are still in use, such as the FPS system, the CGS system, and the MKS system, which use the same standard units for length, mass, and time as the SI system. Material used to measure materials. They are handspan, footspan, cubit, pace. In handspan, the measurement is done by this way, that the arrow point at the starting and ending points. It is from the thumb to the little finger of the hand. In the same way, for footspan, for cubit span, and same for the pace span as shown in the figure. Hand span of different persons are different in measurement. Suppose there are two persons have a different hand span. So, if we want to measure the length of the wooden box, the hand span shows the different numbers of counts. See, this is a bigger hand span and has the number of count 5, and the smaller hand span has the number of count 7. Measuring length using ruler. Suppose we have to measure the length of a pencil and pen. What type of instrument is used that measures the length of the pencil in standard unit? The instrument we use is a ruler that is used to measure the length of the pen and the pencil. Now it is put along the ruler, putting the one end of the pencil at 0 on scale and the another end is at 11. So we can say that the pencil is 11 cm long. Now the next is that we have to measure the length of the pen. We will measure it in the same way as we measured the pencil's length, putting the one end of the pen at 0 on scale and another end of it at 13. It means that the length of the pen is 13 cm long. Units of length. Millimeter is a small unit. There are many types of materials of different sizes, such as pencil, pen, books, nail. In these, the pencil and pen, if we want to measure that, how long they are measured in centimeters, but if we want to measure the thickness of the book shown, how can we measure the length? And if we want to measure length of nail, then we will use the similar unit, millimeter. Millimeter is a smaller unit. For the measurement of the height of the building, we need to use bigger unit from centimeter. This unit is meter. And for the distance, If someone goes from one city to another city via road, we need bigger unit from meter. Meter will be smaller to measure the length from one city to another. Then we will use kilometer. Multiples and submultiples of units. The distance between Kolkata and Mumbai is about 20 lakh meters. Do you think it is convenient to measure such a large distance in meters? The thickness of a coin is about 15 by 10,000 meters or 0.0015 meters. Do you think it is convenient to measure such small quantities in meters? Making calculation with very large or very small numbers becomes very difficult and therefore impractical. So, for convenience, multiples of standard units are used to make large measurements. Fractions of submultiples of standard units are used to make small measurements.